talk about Reservoir Dogs and how it's really about fathers and sons and forgotten sons. I think I can convince you of it. Um, the obvious connections are Mr. White and Mr. Orange, which is Tim Roth and Harvey Keitel. Now, they're the only ones to get title cards in the film, so as to highlight that in your mind throughout the film. They obviously spend a lot of time together, and in film, a relationship between an older man and a younger man like that, it pierces us subconsciously as father and son in the world of cinema. It's also really about Joe Cabot, who's the big boss, and Chris Pine, who plays Nice Guy Eddie. Um, the interesting thing about Nice Guy Eddie is he calls Joe Cabot daddy, which even for someone as ironic as Quentin Tarantino is a little cynical. And there is a moment towards the end where Joe Cabot shows up and dismisses Nice Guy Eddie. Um, he tells him just shut up. I also found it pretty interesting that Nice Guy Eddie sends Mr. Blonde on the job, who subsequently kills 5 people on a bank job. I mean, did Nice Guy Eddie know he was going to do this? Did they belittle Joe Cabot? Are they taking over his dad on the way out? And it's Nice Guy Eddie's actions of sending Mr. Blonde on the job and Mr. Orange, Tim Roth's action of being a police officer that really messes the whole thing up. So I think that all kind of ties it together as well. And also Quentin at that time of his life kind of grew up in a single mother home. That was his first film. Like that emotion would still pierce him. You know, as he's really on the cusp of manhood, into the world of professionalism. You know, why didn't he have one? Some interesting things on the film, on an analysis of it. He discusses Like a Virgin, Madonna's song. That's like a narrative, like a verbal narrative plant. You know, Mr. Orange is the neophyte virgin, first time undercover cop. And, you know, he's on this job for the first time, you know, like a virgin. And he's kind of just planting that in your head. How well that kind of works, I don't know. I mean, he does make a great monologue out of it. And he plants other little subtextual things, the pictures of the Silver Surfer in the background of his room. The Silver Surfer was famously sent to kill Earth, you know, destroy everything. So he likes planting those little things as he's kind of figuring out his voice. He hasn't completely got his head around narrative, but he has an understanding of how we respond to things viscerally. You know, cutting from the opening scene of dialogue, a bunch of guys hanging out. They seem a little shady, they're vulgar, they're hostile to each other. And then, of course, there's, you know, Mr. Orange is in the back of the car. It's also quite surprising at the end to kind of prove that it's really about fathers and sons when Joe Cabot shows up, he's about to shoot Mr. Orange, and Mr. White turns on him, like immediately, Harvey Keitel. And it's so out of character for him to turn on a fella he's probably worked with for 30 years for some guy he just met on a job. It doesn't matter. The drama is over so quickly, we're only left with the feeling. You know what I mean? It's super, we don't get time to think about it, we're just worrying about what happens. And the kind of ironic music at the end, he's trying to play in your feelings. Don't forget that this is what this was about. You know, Reservoir Dogs, you know, is a crime film. You know, it's really about American greed gone wrong. You know, foreshadowing Pulp Fiction, or preceding Pulp Fiction. You know, Quentin's obviously out to make a few quid, a crime film, get away with it. He must have felt like him making a film was a robbery. You know, a lot of other interesting things. I think the use of music and its irony, like, I think he was nervous. I don't think he was cool as he thought he was when he first made it. I think he wanted the film to be violent. He understood violence. Like, a violent movie is great for Friday afternoon after you've had a bad week. You know, you just want to batter everybody, the kids, the school teachers, the missus or the husband. But, you know, you can't. It's real life. You know, so you exert that frustration through a violent movie. Quentin gets this intuitively. He knew the audience weren't quite ready for it, and they weren't. And they, for a long time, they didn't kind of surrender to what he was doing until the internet took over and just exposed the world for what it is at different places. So he's playing on the music, playing the kind of fun tunes over it, trying to set us at ease into this film. I think he, of course, is brilliant as well, and he's got a real presence. There's no one else like him in the world of, film and entertainment. He's just got such a singular face, his manner of talk, and I wish he'd done more stuff. Even his background stuff, it's great to see him show up and look back on it, Yeah, that's all I've got in Reservoir Dogs. More to come soon.